Hi, welcome to Senior Savvy Cannabis. I'm Catherine Goldberg. Typically, I host a video podcast once a week where I bring on experts and we talk about cannabis for aging. And we're doing something different today. I recently wrote a blog post about one of my favorite products that I personally own that has made my life so much better. And it got a lot of engagement, and it got a lot of engagement from people who were coming from outside of the senior savvy community. So I figured I should make a video telling you guys more about this because I was thrilled and delighted by the response. So to take a step back, senior savvy cannabis, we have to have a conversation about cannabis before we talk about this product. So cannabis and sleep have been like two sides of the same coin for a long time. A lot of people, like everyone's grandpa, takes a half a gummy before bed and says, like, I sleep better than I've slept in 20 years. And that's a blessing. And that's fabulous. And I'm glad so many people have access to that. Um, Cannabis and sleep is slightly more nuanced than that. I'm going to slightly preview next Tuesday coming up. Not like anything else is happening next Tuesday. That was a joke. I spoke to a doctor who, we'll get into it then, but he talked about how, yes, cannabis does help people fall asleep. And yes, that is good. It's a relief. People who have not slept well for a long time report sleeping well, and that's fantastic. However, there's some evidence that suggests that cannabis doesn't necessarily help you get the best sleep. And in fact, cannabis can impair some of the normal functions that happen during sleep. For example, cannabis decreases REM cycles. This is where you dream and things are processed and put together. I don't think you need to pick one or the other, but it's something to be aware of. Another one is actually cannabis and deep sleep that a lot of people, including myself, have reported, because I track my sleep on my Apple Watch, that when I use cannabis close to bedtime, my deep sleep is really low. Which is slightly counterintuitive because you think like, oh, I'm using an indica strain, I'm getting so sleepy, I'm sleeping so well, I'm waking up refreshed. So with the sleep debate, I think the most important thing is your personal perspective on how you feel when you wake up. Regardless of what your watch says or regardless of any tracking, if you wake up feeling refreshed, like you slept well, then great. You're probably going to have a pretty good day. You know, you're going to feel rested. You're going to be able to take on what the day has to give you. Also, you may hear my dog Bear. He's going to appear in an upcoming episode when we interview the founder of Vet CBD. So get ready because he's really cute. My dog. I'm sure the founder is too. I don't really know him. Anyway, okay, so the sleep and cannabis debate is nuanced. And then there's this whole trend that came out a couple of years ago where it used to be like energy leaning, clear headed strains versus sedative, chill, body high strains. And yes, that's a nice distinction. But then Fair just got a new toy, by the way, from a neighbor. So he's going to be playing with that while we talk. Okay. And you're going to enjoy it. So then there are all these minor cannabinoids coming out. So it used to be THC and CBD, and now CBN is everywhere because CBN is like a more sedative. So it helps people sleep. And then these great companies, and I may interview someone from Wana who makes a wonderful sleep gummy. Oh my God, Bear, mommy's recording a podcast. Please go to Bear's couch. We'll play later. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what these companies have figured out, that was wildly effective, wasn't it? Is that if you combine certain ratios of THC, CBD, and CBN, a lot of people report to falling asleep quickly, staying asleep, not waking up groggy, um, etc. So cannabis and sleep do go together, but I think you have to be aware of what the science is saying about the quality of the sleep that you're getting. And you need to kind of weigh those things. So the point of that long-winded story was that cannabis is part of a wellness toolkit. It's not the only thing in the toolkit, but it's part of it. So someone who uses cannabis before bed and also does maybe a meditation may sleep better than someone who just uses cannabis and, tries to fall asleep with the TV on, or, I fall asleep watching TV, but with their phone in front of their face. That's a bad one. Or someone who uses cannabis to sleep may get more out of it if they also view morning light and late afternoon going into sundown evening light. So there are a lot of different things that I believe, when combined, help people feel their best. So going back to the product, so this is what happened with me. So as a result of taking SSRIs, I have been a very sweaty person for over a decade. It was really annoying. It was really more than annoying because I would wake up and I would feel like I had been like thrown in a pool. Like I woke up drenched. And I woke up, like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to like wake up and have like everything all wet and gross and cold. And then it like, you don't do your laundry that day and then it starts to like smell weird. Like, I don't know. It was really taking a toll on my mental health when I knew there could be a solution. So I, over the years, have done a lot of research about sleeping systems because I figured like, hey, I'm waking up sweaty, maybe a cooling device could be good for me. So first of all, you have a lot of options. The options that you probably are familiar with are like 8 Sleep, because they advertise on the Huberman Lab, which is the best podcast ever. So it's basically a pad that goes on your bed and it's smart and it has temperature control and it can get hot and it can get cold and it has tracking and whatnot. But it's like really expensive. It's like thousands of dollars. Like that, and yes, cost per night, I'm sure it's comes out to well worth it. But I did not want to spend thousands of dollars. The other thing with the 8 Sleep is that it's a water-based system. And water-based systems are usually okay until they're not. And when they're not, you are screwed. So I really didn't want to invite something that is water and technology-based into my bed because it just seemed like it was really difficult and it was so expensive. Like, can we not? Then there was another option that was less expensive than 8 Sleep, and it was the ChiliPad. And this was another like water cooling system where you would like put water into a vessel and then it would pump it into the bed to cool things down. And like the reviews weren't that great. So the issue was I was a little bit like, okay, well, this is what's on the market and I don't really want to use a water-based system and I don't want to spend thousands of dollars. So somehow, probably sponsored ads because the algorithm knows, I discovered the BedJet. And the BedJet, unlike these other systems, uses a fan that is shaped like one of these that comes with like a little hose, and there's a little box that goes under the bed. And it comes with this. It doesn't come with. You need to purchase it additionally, but it works really well. The sheet that you put the opening into, and then it shoots the air through the sheet, and this is the top sheet, so the air is coming all over your body. And it just seemed like a much more simple approach because I'd rather use a fan than have to deal with water cooling and electricity. So I waited until they had a sale And that was exactly a year ago because the Black Friday sales happening right now. And I purchased my BedJet. And I was amazed. Okay, so this is the interesting thing. I thought this video was going to be like 10 minutes long. It's going to be probably a lot longer, but it's interesting enough. So I'm going to talk about it. I figured, like, I wake up sweaty, I should have some sort of cooling system. Well, and I thought the sleep literature suggests that, you know, our bodies need to cool down to sleep. If I make my sleeping environment a little cooler, maybe I'll sleep better, maybe I'll get more deep sleep. No, because I don't like sleeping in the cold. I have a gravity blanket, I have a comforter, still don't like it. So what I discovered, and this is the thing that I think only BedJet offers, unlike these other guys, which is why like I talk about it and why I think it's such a game changer, is that they have like, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's called the dry setting. So it's warm air that's coming out over you throughout the night. But it's not hot. Also, just because I know you can hear Bear playing with himself, he's turning 11 this year. So thank you, Vet CBD, and we'll have more to say about that in a future episode. Okay, so I used the dry setting. I was pretty amazed because I do not wake up sweaty anymore. And I get better deep sleep when I use the warmer dry setting than when I use any, for me personally, of the cooler settings. I imagine maybe a woman who's going through menopause or something would want the cooling feature. That makes total sense. But you know, you kind of have to, it comes with an app on your phone and you can adjust it. So what I do like 10 minutes before I get into bed is I put on the warming feature and I make it really, really hot. So I get into like a warm bed because Los Angeles just got cold. And then after I do my meditation, when I'm about to watch TV to fall asleep, I turn on the dry setting and that's a little bit less hot. And then I sleep pretty well. I don't sleep well perfectly every night, but it's something that I've been working on for over a year, trying to figure out my deep sleep and how to increase it, because deep sleep is when the body repairs itself. And I will share one more fun fact before we close this out. After monitoring my sugar intake, my caffeine, my cannabis use, when I view light, all these things that I record data on because I think it's fun, the one thing that had the biggest impact on my deep sleep specifically was when I watch a comedy before bed. And not just a comedy, but when I watch a comedy where I am laughing so hard that I can't breathe. And obviously, I did a blog post about this. You can check it out. I'll link below. But laughing changes your biology. You know, like laughing really hard changes your biology. So it didn't surprise me. It just made me more intentional. Like before bed, I'm going to watch a stand-up rather than watching a drama. So toolkit, right? It's not just one thing. It's a lot of little things together consistently over time that make the difference. So thank you for listening to this review of BedJet. If you want to like know what it looks like or how to install it, there are 1,000 other videos on that. Just look it up because you're already on YouTube. It's not a big deal. If you would like 10% off your BedJet, I am posting a link on my blog. The blog is free. You don't even have to enter your email address unless you want to subscribe, which you should because it's fabulous. But if you don't, that's okay. And if you click on the link, you'll get $10 off. Not $10, I'm sorry, 10% off, a lot more than $10. And yeah, I'm like I said, delighted and thrilled that so many people are purchasing a BedJet. I don't know exactly where they're coming from because I don't think it's just the senior savvy cannabis community, but the more people who sleep better, the better for everyone and the better for the world. So thank you for listening. And we'll be back on Tuesday with an interview. And every once in a while, I'm going to talk about a product that I think is cool, or I might try a product that I thought was cool, but received it and it was not as good as it looked, but I still want to give it a shot. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that. And thanks for listening. Bye.